right, good evening, everybody. It's Steve with Real Progress in Action. You know, Bernie Sanders has been getting slammed all over the place. The Democratic Party has really shit its pants over the possibility of Bernie Sanders becoming the nominee. And they've thrown out all the stops to try to block him. The worst part of it is they've tried to coronate another Hillary-like person in Joseph Biden. Joe Biden has just a horrific track record. I mean, it's so easy to see. I'm not even going to try and show you all the stuff about Joe Biden today. That's not really the point, because I think Joe Biden speaks for himself, going back to Anita Hill. I mean, this is a guy who is everything. It's not just everything that progressives don't want to be. It's everything Democrats say they don't want to be. And it's so bad. This guy is literally a gaffe machine. And it's not just because he's gaffing it up and doesn't know what he's talking about. There's something wrong with Joe Biden. There's something clearly wrong with Joe Biden. And you ask yourself, the most important role in the United States, especially coming out of a Donald Trump presidency, you want to have someone competent to handle the turbulence that comes out of trying to repair whatever damage may have been done. Now, I'm not somebody who really does a lot of focusing on Donald Trump, mainly because I see so much evil all over the place that I'm just used to it, unfortunately. Isn't that terrible that I'm callous to it? But I want to change that. I want to end that. I want to stop that. I see that and I say, that's exactly what I expect of them. It's exactly what I expect out of them. So it gets to the point of, why in the world are they so hateful of Bernie Sanders? Bernie, who is way more sharp, dude can play some mean basketball, can hit a freaking stand-up three-pointer. I mean, he's got mad hops. You see him running through the airports. This is a guy who has an endless tirelessness that is running all over the country like a kid. And Joe Biden, who's ducking the media because he can't stop calling his wife his freaking sister, or talking about babbling. I mean, like incoherent babble. Like, you just don't want to be even on TV. God help him. I'm waiting for them to cancel the rest of the debates. He's so bad. So why would they want him, right? I mean, these are legitimate questions everybody should be asking. So, you know, I was watching on Twitter, and Naomi Klein had put out a really important tweet. And I thought, wow, this is something we really need to touch on today. We need to touch on it because it's impacting everything that we do right now. So what Namiki here says is, we need to talk about how deeply liberals and even progressive ones hate the left. My grandfather was fired and blacklisted for union organizing. My parents had to leave the country because they opposed the Vietnam War. And yet even I underestimate the depths of the hatred. Folks, the United States has been these colors don't run, red, white, and blue, better dead than red. I mean, it has been drilled into the heads of every human being in this country. And it's done without any kind of blushing at all. It's pure propaganda. But we have been led to believe that everything that is wrong in the world is about being socialist. They don't even understand, or communist or whatever. And so, you know, I started digging around, and I was like, we got these horrible comments in our YouTube videos, you know, as you go through and you're looking at comments from people. And we had this one lady, it was just the worst thing I'd ever seen. I mean, I didn't put it up here because I didn't want to embarrass, but I'll see if I can read it to you real quickly before I show you the next part of this video that I'm about to show you. It was just so unbelievably appalling. Person said here, canceled. This is some Misty G. Canceled. Miss Rally knows blacks see right through him. Communists don't like blacks. Minorities never hired a black and ordered nuke waste dumped in poorest Hispanic neighborhoods. Thousands lost their lives to keep America free. I'll be damned if I'll support the flag falling to a Castro-loving, Marxist-praising communist. I mean, whoo, we are talking about just vile levels of incompetent ignorance, but that is what America is full of. And so let's go ahead and take a peekaboo at some of the stuff. So Ben Norton is sitting there saying, hey, you know, Bernie would have easily won Massachusetts, Minnesota, and Texas if neoliberal tool Elizabeth Warren had dropped out. But that's exactly why she stayed in the race, to split the progressive vote. That's why the oligarchs dumped $14 billion into her super PAC. Once a snake, always a snake. Now, the reason why I'm putting this up here, you know, if Warren is supposed to be such a great, you know, progressive, we know she's not, but just roll with me for a second. If she's supposed to be such a great progressive, she'd be pulling for the progressive wing. She'd be working with Bernie, but she's not. And it goes back to when Elizabeth Warren was standing there during Donald Trump's State of the Union, and he's talking about socialism will never take over this country. And she's on her feet. Yeah. I mean, she is all up in it. It isn't some sort of political calculation. Girlfriend straight up saying, fuck you, right? Now, listen, this is low-hanging fruit. You know, you think the Tea Party and the GOP are the only ones out there that say really moronic stuff. Social spending, oh, it's communism. It's not just the GOP, folks. And I'm getting damn right sick and tired of people, especially the vote blue, no matter who's sycophant, trying to act like I got to worry about the Republicans when it's not even the Republicans that are saying half this stuff. Yes, the Republicans say a lot of stupid shit, but this is a lot of stuff coming from vote blue, no matter who, Hillary light, Hillary-esque, freaking horrible conservative Democrats, boll weevils, Dixiecrats, wicked. And they know that Bernie's not a communist. They know none of this is socialism. Socialism is all about the means of production, seizing it, the balance between labor and capital. It's a spectrum, for God's sake. FDR was not a communist, and we still gave him 3 terms. We loved FDR. And all Bernie Sanders is doing is talking about FDR stuff, the stuff the Democratic Party was founded on. But they can't run fast enough from the history that makes them worth even thinking about, the history that makes them valuable. But no. The civil rights movement, right? We're going way back when Democrats actually cared about African Americans. And now, unfortunately, African Americans have been so traumatized and so brutalized through history. They're clutching pearls in the Democratic Party, thinking that people like Joe Biden, who are outright, straight up racist, are their friends. And it's not that they think that they're their friends. They're afraid of the alternative. They're petrified that Sanders will destroy the Democratic Party and wreck their base. So they're out there like Clyburn and others, wrecking. And it's out of fear. Glenn Ford wrote a great article. If you get a chance, check it out in the Black Agenda Report, talking about it's the politics of fear of their standing. And a lot of these folks, these gatekeepers, are literally destroying the community for the few because they want to have their place. These people that are deep state folks, these people that have their spot, they think that somehow or another is protection, but it isn't protection for the rank and file. It isn't protection for all the millions of African-American voters that support Sanders. It isn't protection for all the Hispanic voters who support Sanders. It's for the bougie folks that rose up that want to say, hey, that ain't my people. I think somebody said they were a corny somebody. I don't know all the details there, but let me just say this. They don't represent the vast majority. And yet, here we are. And it's because of the fear of communism. I want you to watch this. And I want you to understand this is what we're facing. And it's really sad. It's really sad. This is stuff that's all over the web, and it's not hard to find at all. It really is. It's not even remotely hard to find. Yet, there it is. I mean, look at this. Look at this. I mean, this is nonstop Bernie stuff. And they're like, hey, Bernie Sanders 2020 communist. I mean, look at this. Look at this ridiculous shit. And I'm telling you this. Why am I telling you this? Because at the end of the day, This is what Bernie Sanders is going up against. And this is what we as a movement have to be prepared to support and understand. Now, if you don't get this, there's a steamroller effect going on here. You know, the GOP and these Republicans and the Tea Party folks, he's a communist, he's a dumb communist. They aren't capable of having a conversation. I'm not joking. It's so deeply embedded in their head. They can't even have a conversation. And even when you sit there and show folks, it's not communism. It's really not socialism. It's social democracy that we've enjoyed in this country for many years until neoliberalism destroyed the safety nets, and not just the safety nets, but the citizens' benefits that came with being part of this country. I mean, back in the day, folks went to college for free. For free. The same people that are fighting against discharging student debt went to school for free. California universities were free. And those same people are out there fighting now that they've gotten theirs and they're older and they're looking for an extra quarter point on their retirement. They're fighting against these things because they've been beaten down with that Red Scare. It's no joke, man. You know, I live in central Pennsylvania. These colors don't run, guns and friggin' 4x4s, and everybody you talk to is just assumed as a conservative. Guy like me, man, they're like, man, whoa. You don't look like a communist. I was like, well, shit, I'm not. You know? And you think about it, it's like, hey, wow, you're not that different, are you? Well, no. I'm just a normal human being that wants to take care of my family. Don't you want us in gulags and in gray drab and walking around in mud eating potatoes and shit? No. That's not what we're talking about. Millions of people died in the name of socialism. We fought the socialists. I mean, this is so deep-seated. So as we're going through this, people don't want to have the answers for these problems. And it starts on so many levels. They have this vision first. It's been beat in their head that people die from socialism. People die from communism. We got to keep the commies out there, the enemy. Starts right there. Then they tie together that your candidate, is a communist. So this is going to kill people. Now you're going to elect someone. This person's going to be responsible for the death of millions of people. This is how their brains work. And then the next part of that is the economics. Bernie raised taxes 90%, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, we're punishing people that do well. We're going to punish them. And you know, the only thing wrong with socialism, of course, is that eventually you run out of other people's money. So these are all the tropes that you're going to hear. People dying. You're taking my tax dollars to pay for these people. All this bullshit. But you know what? It doesn't matter if it's bullshit. It doesn't matter if it's bullshit. They believe it. And you know what? You're not even through the primaries yet. This is Democrats doing this. I just don't want you to give them a break. I want you to know it's not just, don't start yelling about Donald Trump and don't start yelling about the Republican Party. Folks, this is your Dixiecrat Democratic Party. I mean, the Confederacy rejected Sanders. The South is rising. South is rise again. Yeah. And it was all fear porn. All of it. But I want to explain something to you, because not only do you have to be able to talk about what social democracy is, and be able to explain the difference. And whether you like communism or not is irrelevant. That's not what we're talking. Sanders is not proposing communism. So it doesn't matter if you like communism. That's not what he's proposing. He's proposing a return to when America was great again for some, except for all this time. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to bring back a time, a golden time, when the people, the good people, the white people, the males, the blah, 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 these taxpayers, right? When they had a good life, the white picket fence, etc. He's trying to bring back a better America, except instead of it being exclusionary, bringing it back for all. And they're going to paint that as communism because it's easy. And because they know it's deep-seated. It's like some baked-in switch in people's brains. So it's our job to get them past that. Doesn't matter whether it's fair. It's not fair. It's stupid. It's moronic. But they've been brainwashed, as have most of our country, because of the ignorance. And the worst thing is, people that are the left refuse to understand that this is the reality of this nation. And then they start sitting there yelling at people, not realizing that they're brainwashed, right? Just like economics. They believe that their tax dollars are being taken from them to give to the ne'er-do-goods. It's bullshit. It's completely wrong. But you've seen even Bernie Sanders come out there and say, your taxes will go for this. We shouldn't have our tax dollars go to that. Even though Bernie is really, in fairness, if you look underneath the veneer of taxes, everything he's proposing is all about deficit spending because he really does get the public money. He understands that the government creates currency, that you're not taking other people's tax dollars to pay for programs. See, that's the thing. Sadly, many of our brethren and sisters within the movement, many of our comrades, don't get this, and they think that taxes are paying for these things. Yes, it's moronic. Yes, it's as bad as the Red Scare. To believe taxes pay for spending in a fiat currency is just as dumb as calling somebody a communist when they're talking about FDR. It's that stupid to believe your tax dollars pay for these things. But you do. And they do. And it's just as convoluted and it's just as important to dislodge that lie as the whole lie about communists and gulags and gray drab tunics and friggin' eating potatoes in mud fields and friggin' gray skies all around. Jails and death and millions dying from social. It's just as important that you understand how the economic system works because that's what they're nailing you for. And most people, I swear to God, go to your groups on Facebook. All the burner groups, you put a good post about economics in there, and every single freaking person in there will ignore it. Why is that? I can't answer it other than maybe they got a little tea party in them. Maybe they don't care enough to learn. Maybe they don't want to learn. Maybe they don't realize how important it is that they not skip that fucking post. But they do. Why do they do it? I can't answer that. It puts our movement in grave danger because of their recalcitrant ignorance about economics. They're just like the Tea Party about communism, aren't they? It's the exact same thing. To be ignorant of socialism on one side is the same thing as to be ignorant of our financial system or economic system, or the way federal finance works in a free-floating fiat currency, which is what we have, which is what Bernie Sanders is leveraging to do all these phenomenal plans that you are going to let him get screwed on because you can't explain it, because you keep pointing to a website that says taxes are paying for it. So not only do you get double whammied with the bullshit Red Scare, better dead than red, and all the other nonsense about Mao and Stalin and friggin' death, but then you got to hear the bullshit about the only thing wrong with socialism is you run out of other people's money. And you get the condescending, the only thing wrong with it is, eventually you run out of somebody else's money. Oh, you're going to punish people for doing good. You're going to take their tax dollars and give them to people that are lazy. See? But you can't click on that economic link. You're too good for it. You're better than that. You're too smart to click on that fucking link. You're just too cool for it. And I don't get it. Why? Well, this is what our movement is up against. You want to defeat the centrists that are going to sit there and call it socialism and communism themselves? And we aren't going to sit there. We fought communists. We're not going to sit there and allow them to ruin our country. Look what happened in Vietnam. They fought the commies, remember? And these people are still alive and voting. And that history, that lie, that propaganda has never gone away. And neither has the stupid idea that taxes fund spending. And until you learn, until you stop skipping the fucking posts, and you say, well, what is this modern monetary thing anyway? Okay, so I didn't want to look at it before. Now I'm going to take a look at it because I don't want to ruin the movement, because I don't want to be that asshole that couldn't answer the question. I don't want to be that guy that said something stupid about the Federal Reserve. I don't want to be that guy. So you raise your hand and you say, help me. And you open up the link and you don't skip it this time. And you don't keep posting the same bullshit. Oh, Bernie said. You post things that'll help, because the reality is that the people that love Bernie already love Bernie. Your challenge isn't people that love Bernie. Your challenge is people that are afraid of their taxes going up. That's your challenge. Your challenge is the people that are worried about socialism. That's your challenge. Your challenge is not telling the faithful, hey, Bernie's going to give you free free Green New Deal. He's going to give you free college. That's not your challenge. Although there's some good burners out there that haven't got a clue how to pay for Bernie's programs, and they'll just throw the website at you. Quick primer so that you have some tools in your back pocket. Should you want Bernie to be elected? If you want Bernie to be elected, let me help you out. If you want to ignore what I have to say, by all means, keep saying the same stuff. I'm sure it'll work out splendiferously. Okay? For those of you who have ears to hear, this is how it goes. The federal government creates money every single time it spends by authorization of Congress. Article 1, Section 8 of your U.S. Constitution. It doesn't just print more money. Those that say that are as bad as the Tea Party people that talk about socialism and communism. You hear someone say, what are you going to do, print more money? Put them over there in the bucket of people that are talking about millions dying from communism. That's where they belong. Same exact tired bullshit. No. When Congress authorizes spending, new money is created. Well, if they're creating new money, what happens to all that money? Doesn't it keep just growing? Aren't you just printing more money? No, because what happens is when we tax, and there are millions of these different taxes out there, when the federal government taxes, it deletes money. So there's a drain at the bottom of the bathtub, getting rid of, purging, deleting, destroying money. New congressional spending spends money into the economy. Taxes take it out of the economy. It doesn't get recycled. Sorry, that goes over here with the millions dying with communism bucket of bullshit. Do you have ears to hear? You got to hear this, because you better be able to repeat it. And you don't have to repeat it the way I do it. You can say it nicely and gently and sweetly so that everybody feels good about themselves, because it's what's going to take. But I need to shock you into caring about economics, because you're not. I'm watching people out there debate, and they're just, well, this is how Bernie pays for his program. They don't understand that it's not the faithful you got to overcome. It's the people that don't want to hear it. The people that call Bernie a commie. They're the ones. And they don't want their tax dollars going to this stuff. And the good news is they don't. So you win, but you won't listen. So here's the next part of it. So I told you that Congress spends money into existence, and I told you that taxes delete it out of existence. So there is no just printing more money, endless money. Those that say that go over here in the millions dying from communism bucket. It's a box of rocks moment that we got to overcome as a family, a collective human race here. We got to get past the stupid. Yes, the stupidity in us will kill us all. It's not just the ones that are stupid that'll die. It's all of us that will die. So yes, we got to bring them into the fold. It's painful. There's no question. But we got to do it. We got to coax them into reality. Let's get them on over here. Let's teach you a little bit about economics there, boy. Yo, greenhorn, let me tell you about the dollar. The dollar, nothing but a tax credit. In other words, the United States government agrees to take $1 in tax for $1. $1 is $1, period. When it comes together, the U.S. government agrees to take $1 back in taxes. That's it. Nothing more. So, what gives it its value? Well, think about it. The obligation to paying your taxes. It's that obligation payable only in U.S. dollars that makes it valuable, so to speak, that makes you need it. The government spent that money into existence first, then it taxed some of it out. Well, what happens if it taxes all of it out? We got no money in the economy. And guess what happens then? We have depressions and recessions and all kinds of other stuff. That's why when you hear another one of these millions dying from communism, the whole reduce the deficit bullshit, the deficit for the public sector is a surplus in the private sector. The problem is that surplus in the private sector has always been at the top. Well, Bernie Sanders is suggesting with his programs that he'd like to put that surplus down at the bottom for the people. Why would that cause inflation to you? Why are you worried about hyperinflation if people can survive instead of just rich people? Why do you never ask where the money's coming from for bombs? Why do you never ask? Why do you never ask where the money's coming from for tax credits, for tax cuts? Why do you never ask that? Why is it you only ask when we talk about getting rid of student debt that you ask that dumb question? Put that over here in the bucket of millions of communists dying kind of thing, right? Yes? Yes? Do you get it? Yes? Good. We're getting somewhere because we got to get this so we can help Bernie get elected. Because it doesn't happen if you can't answer the how you're going to pay for a question and say, he's going to tax Wall Street, is not going to get it done because these people, the reason they don't want Bernie is because they got investments at Wall Street. For fuck's sake. That's why. And you wonder what they're resisting. They're resisting you screwing their retirement. He's going to put a nominal tax on there for the people that won't hear my video, won't listen to the other MMTers out there, that'll skip the links. They'll throw these stupid things out. Here's how he's going to pay for it. Here's this grid that shows the 2% tax here, 3% tax there, 7-cent tax there. And yeah, it's a small speculation tax, man. It's going to pay for everything. Really, honestly. Never mind the $19 trillion gap between the amount taxed and the amount spent. Yeah, sure. That's going to pay for it. Really, honest. I swear to God, Chauncey, it's going to pay for it. I just want you to realize how stupid this is. File this under 10 million people dying from communism. Another lie. The taxpayer dollar, another lie. Get rid of it. For fuck's sake, get rid of it. And Social Security. Joe Biden wants to cut fucking Social Security. Why is that? Because you believe that you've been paying into it and it's going to go bankrupt. It's going to go bankrupt, man. We've got to save Social Security. Where does Social Security dollars come from? They come from my check. See, I got this piece of paper. It says I paid into it, man. I'm telling you, I paid into it. It's there. No, it's another tax, man. They deleted that money too. File that lie over here in 10 million communists dying a day kind of thing. You know, it's a billion commies dying a day. They kill everybody, right? Isn't that how it goes? Yeah, that's how it goes. Social Security, FICA tax, is a tax to pull money out of the economy. FDR wanted you to believe you were putting money into it, so he did this. But honest to God, FICA taxes are the most regressive tax there is. You could eliminate FICA altogether and give Social Security a freaking raise. You could expand it to become a basic income. Oh, yeah. File anything that says otherwise into the trash bin with 10 million, trillion, gazillion commies dying every minute. You know, all the lies, the murder, oh, they're in gulags. File it under stupid things that people say for $10. Alex, I'll take dumb things people say. Can I buy a vowel? I mean, it's game show shit, man. It's time we got smarter, because if you don't get smarter, there is no revolution. And it's just fascism for you. And it's just more bullshit, more austerity, more fiscal cliffs, more eat your peas, and no Bernie Sanders. And we got one more shot at this, folks. Bernie ain't getting younger. but he's still ready for the job. He's the right guy for it. He is the best candidate I've ever seen in my lifetime, and I've been around this rock 50 years. So I want you to think about what I'm saying. Bernie Sanders is up against the communist bullshit, the socialist bullshit, better dead than red bullshit, all the propaganda for years, and then all the taxpayer dollar tropes that you have been repeating by pointing to his website every time you say, he's going to pay for it with a tax, every single time. Now, where did the F-35 money come from, huh? Where did the billions come from, the military budget this time? Huh? When they simultaneously cut taxes? Huh? Are you still not getting this? Do you not want to get this? It's not hard to understand. Again, Congress spends money in, Congress taxes money out. Literally, deletion of money. Get it through your fucking head. Deletion of money. Creation of money, Congress authorizes spending. Taxes, delete money, delete money, delete money, delete money, delete money, delete money, delete money. Stop saying print more money, God damn it. And start being smart so we can win. People are going to die for real. This is not the 10 million people dying over here bullshit. The real deal is austerity is murder. And when you reduce the deficit, when you don't institute life-saving programs like what Bernie's offering up, people die. No health care, they die. No shelter, they die. No food, they die. And it's all a political choice because we still think the taxpayer dollar is what's funding it. I'm Steve Grumbine with Real Progress in Action. And I'm hoping to God, not only do you fight back the communist bullshit, but you can learn a little bit about economics so you can support the guy you say you want to be president, Bernie or bust. I'm out of here.